Hey guys, it's the old buzzard. I got pretty bored today, so I started rattling around in the shop, and my sway bar's been sitting on the bench for a number of weeks now, and I thought, why don't we just pop out a quick video and see if we can have a look here at what a sway bar looks like and what it's comprised of while it's off a machine. A couple of comments that I hear from time to time is guys with clanking sway bars, and I could never quite figure that out because it shouldn't be too much lateral force on these things to make them clank. Assuming that all the bushings are good, everything's tight. I can't quite figure out why there'd be enough lateral force to make them clank if they're going back and forth, in that direction. But then I got to look at what holds the bar in place and from having a lateral movement. And at first I thought these things might be cast in, but then that wouldn't make sense. Cast doesn't make a good sway bar. Got to looking at them, and let's see, maybe if I tip this up you'll be able to see it a little better. But see the dimple right there? That's a mark. Yeah, that's a mark that tells me that those things are sleeves that are crimped on. They're probably pretty close to a press fit to begin with, and then maybe they crimp over the top of them. But I wonder if some of them come loose and maybe slide on you, and that gives it room enough to move horizontally and make that clanking noise. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to think about, was how that part of it is constructed. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that. The other thing is where the bushings are. It's a solid plastic bushing or nylon or something. You guys are right. They are threaded zerks, right? Z-E-R-K. They're threaded zerks right into the plastic, and plastic's fairly thick though, so I assume if you just recognize that they are plastic, don't torque them down too much and you shouldn't have any problem. If you do strip one out, I strip them out on my tractors and stuff every now and then, but I just got a assortment kit from Napa that has all different sizes and angles. Just find the next bigger size and thread her down in there. It go right in and should seal up. They do have, I'm trying to find good light here to show it. They do have a cutout all the way around to distribute the grease, I guess you'd say radially. But they also have channels for it to come out horizontally too, so it distributes the grease all the way around. And of course that's what these marks are from here. You can kind of tell where there's not generally any contact because of the reliefs for the grease channels. So thought I'd look at that a little bit. Everything else is pretty typical. Something else that comes up though, and that is guys that are making their own sway bar disconnects, or there might even been some commercial kits that I've seen that are nothing more than basically a pin through the sway bar that you can pin, or maybe it's a bolt in the sway bar, and then you can pin them on the outside. My comment about that is that you'll notice these bushings have a really heavy sleeve inside the rubber, and when you bolt that to the bar itself, that really becomes basically one piece between the sleeve and the bar. It's locked tight. There's no way in the world it can move at all. So that when you have forces, I almost made that motion. That wouldn't be good. Oh boy, maybe I better not post that. But when you make the up and down motion of the wheels, if that's locked down really tight, then all of the forces on the rubber bushing are absolutely perpendicular across the bushing, and that distributes the entire load that you have between the link and the bar. It distributes it evenly across the rubber. If you just leave this loose and just have it pinned where it can move back and forth, every time you hit a bump, it's going to twist the pin or the bolt sideways, and when it does that, you've only got just a fraction of a part of that bushing to put the load on, and that part's going to wear really quickly. It'll wear right through that bushing. I don't say this from practical experience, but you know, just in principle, if you don't distribute it exactly perpendicular, then you're going to wear that bushing out really quick. So I won't recommend a kit that doesn't just lock that sleeve down absolutely tight, so that there's no wobble back and forth. Anything that's going to let it wobble is going to wear it out quick. You know, the last thing I'd say, this is a really heavy Swaybar. And I was looking at a guy's sport the other day. I go ride with a guy that has a sport now and then. I excuse him. Actually, they're just a fine machine. I like my trail, but he likes the sport. It looks like the sports use a lot thinner sway bar, and I'm wondering if the sway bars might be interchangeable. In fact, let's see, if I put a tape across this, come on, right there. Let's see real quick. So from outside to outside, of course it's, I'll be darned, 50 inches. No, that's 50 centimeters, 19.5 inches. I wonder if the sport sway bar might be interchangeable. Let's look at it this direction. Outside to outside, this isn't precise because I can't hold it, but yeah, it's right at 19 inches. I wonder if perhaps a sport sway bar might go on these things. So anyway, again, I was just bored, thought I'd put something up, keep people entertained. Yeah, I don't know if I'm funny or not. My wife tells me I am. Anyway, see ya.